Hey, hello. Happy witching hour. This is High Priestess Jamila. First of all, I want to start off this discussion by saying this real quick. Um, Many times, and I don't think a lot of people are aware of this, and then especially in social media, I think that one of the things that got people really going and on this weird plight against me is because I have the title of High Priestess. Well, I'm not trying to say that that automatically makes me an authority over you. Um, I'm pretty much the high priestess of my family. It's like a family thing. But I'm going to digress from that, what I want to talk about. And you know what? This may not be an issue for everybody, so I don't want to project this problem to everybody. At least for some reason, mental illness is plaguing my side of the spiritual community big time. And it has been absolutely exhausting. It just, it's been absolutely exhausting. But I don't think that I'm the only one that is going through this. Hello, Stevan. Welcome to the chat. Hello. Um, so I log into the Real Witches of the South channel, and I actually log in to go and delete a couple of the videos that I made because I had a lot that I wanted to express. There was a lot that I had to work through because I just don't operate this way. And since being in the spiritual community on YouTube, I have been exposed to energies that were very shocking, to say the least. Like to the point of, oh God, just, yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my goddess. Oh. And I'm very, very empathic. I just, yeah, I'm not mentally ill. I have a legitimate spiritual gift of empathism. Okay. So that can actually make it difficult for me. But what I'm noticing, and when I logged into this account, I noticed that I have a comment left on the video. And the person says to me, and we all know that this is some person that has been familiar with me for years, hiding behind a troll account, essentially. But this person says to me, what's with the lies? You are literally making up this stuff as you go along. Pathetic. It was the video that I made about spiritual stuff, about spiritual occurrences, about and that's actually not true. I was not lying and I wasn't making up any of that. So, but here's what I noticed throughout the years, and I don't know if this is the same person or just a person that has a similar issue as this one person, but there has been like, I'm talking about literally, I mean, this has been 10 years going to where I just kind of spoke what was a fact, and I was mainly speaking about how I felt, and this person was just like, you're a liar, and everything I was saying, you're just lying about everything, you're a liar. That's a mental illness. I mean, I do agree that you can have spiritual gifts and have a legitimate mental illness at the same time. But that would point to, possibly if you're someone that's hanging around the spiritual community and you're doing that, maybe you do have spiritual gifts, but at the same time, the problem is that you're not getting help for the mental illness. So it's so bizarre because whoever this person is that hides behind troll accounts, which there are many of them, they constantly, well, first of all, they're supposed to be psychic. So if I'm lying, you're supposed to be able to tell if I'm lying. So I don't understand that aspect of it, because I was not lying. I was going into detail about, like, I mean, I can show picture proof of this. I mean, I was sharing some pretty intimate details about some healing that I was doing. And I think that it is because, maybe it's possible that, because I truly believe that if you have a really bad mental illness, that is going to interfere with your spiritual experience. And I think that there are a lot of people that have that, and they don't actually go and get help for the actual mental illness. So I looked it up and I said, what is up with this person? Because I know who it is. And you know what? I just Googled mental illness when someone constantly accuses someone of lying. And it's called PPD, paranoid personality disorder, which is characterized by pervasive distrust and suspicion of others, often leading to unfounded accusations of deceit and betrayal. However, other conditions like borderline personality disorder can also manifest similar behaviors due to distorted thinking patterns. Just based upon my experience that I've had during ritual, during meditation, and I'm talking about, I have done ceremonial rituals for like large groups of people. So I know what I'm talking about. Someone that has, because BPD is supposed to be the worst mental illness. I don't have that mental illness. I did suffer from anxiety for years. Um, I even suffered from agoraphobia. Am I lying about that? Like, why would I need to be lying about that? Why? What am I lying about? Am I lying because I'm just wanting to have something interesting to talk about? Funny thing about it is that this same person has accused me and made so many accusations and made up so many lies about me. It's ridiculous throughout the years, because I know who this person is. And it's like, why can't you understand that? I mean, that I do know that people can fall under possession. Okay. I do know that. I've seen that happen, but it's not like this is a pattern of behavior that's been going on for 10 plus years. You know, possession can happen that way, but if you've been hanging around the spiritual community and you haven't been dispossessed yet or depossessed, you you need to do that if that's the case, if you're just under possession. Otherwise, I'm going to have to assume that you have a mental illness that you need to go get treated for and speak to someone about. And you know what? There are a lot of witches that we have to make the discernment between mental illness and whether or not you are having a spiritual experience. I believe in the field of psychology to a fault, just like they believe in us. But when you have a legitimate mental illness, you just have a legitimate mental. Yeah, I was not lying at all about, and this person has consistently like, or these people have consistently, what would I lie about something like that for? Especially when I'm presenting proof. What am I? It's, I'm gonna be honest with you. People that have paranoid, people that have PPD, people that are schizophrenic, they are very toxic to people like me. I can't be around them too much because I'm an empath. And just the energy of their mind just bugs me. I can't do it. It makes me feel very, because I believe that paranoia, at the root of paranoia is fear, right? And I think that it comes from trauma. And yeah, as a healer, I can help people with that. But if you're constantly paranoid and you're constantly feeling like everybody is against you, nobody can help you if you feel that way. If you feel like and that's something that people have been committed in mental hospitals for, because they they become to the point where they're just, everybody is the enemy. And it's because you've probably had some kind of horrific trauma. And that's something that, at least, I would have to, if I were to work with somebody like that, and most of the time they're not willing to work because they don't want to listen to nobody. They're not willing to work with anybody, but I would have to work alongside a psychiatrist with you. That's something that I can't just do by myself. You know what I'm saying? Because some people do actually need to be medicated to balance them out, to balance themselves out. And then some people need to be medicated for the rest of their lives. Like, some people cannot, like, it just, and because I think that it starts and it ends with you. It depends on you whether or not you need that or not. I mean, I'm a normal thinking person. I think it's abnormal to latch on to someone, a complete stranger, in social media, pretend that you know them, and just project all your crap to them. I was noticing in someone's chat yesterday, this guy, by the way, my spirits binded him. I was like, wow, like, let me go ahead and take care of this person. And he's obviously very mentally ill, obviously. Like, latching on to a complete stranger that you don't know in social media, speaking to them, having these conversations with them that they don't welcome, that to me is a mental, like, that's a sign of somebody being mentally ill. This person was in a chat room just typing my name, and he knows who he is if he's watching. I don't ever talk to this person about this person to Jamila, and he types, Jamila, you know that you need medication. Like, the only mental illness that I've ever suffered from was anxiety and agoraphobia, and that's something that I worked through without medication. But you've got to be, like, something, to me, that's a sign that something is wrong with a person. When you become obsessed over a person that you have no idea who they are, just literally no idea who they are, they don't know you, and you're speaking to them and you're speaking all these things to them, that would be comparable to, like, let's say that you got on a bus every day, or either a subway or some kind of GO train or something, and just this strange person walked up to you, and they just began to speak to you about all of these things, and they began to say things that were erroneous to you, that you've never heard of about yourself, and they're just speaking those things to you, you know and it's like, excuse me, you can only assume that that person is mentally ill. This is exactly how I see these people. I just see people that do things like that as having a mental illness. Sometimes they can be possessed at this point. I don't think that these people that frequent the spiritual community necessarily are having spiritual experiences by itself. They are probably having those experiences, not having the ability to discern them, nor getting the proper help. But I'm willing to bet that those people need to be seen by a doctor. Is anybody else with me on that? And I believe that I believe that our government should start regulating people that are in social media showing obvious mental illness, not a situation to where, because guys, I've been through a lot just running my small business, my small witchy business, and they said that it was because I was Black, why I should have to go through that, which I don't agree. I think that's very unfair, but whatever. They said, you're Black, you're just a Black girl, and this is what you go through. I have been dealing with that for years, and people swatting your home, trying to find out where you're located, telling lies on you, attacking your family. The times where I've came on here and responded to those people does not denote mental illness, because if those people would regulate their own behaviors and be responsible adults, I would never say anything to those people. I have enough interesting things in my life. I've always been very interested in the things that I'm interested in, and I just don't care about those people like that. It's just I think it's also mental illness, Devon. I think it's, and I also think that it's mentally ill people being taken advantage of as well, is what I believe that it is, by certain people that know that those people can't make the correct decision. So they just do the craziest stuff. It really speaks to how mental illness is very taboo, and people don't get the help that they need. And then it's the same thing to where people that know that a woman is being beaten, or they know that a child is being beaten or abused or neglected, and they refuse to report it. It's the same thing. I can guarantee you that people around them know that they have some kind of mental illness, but they just don't get them any help. I haven't noticed any of the people in my family that I'm responsible for doing things like that. They're typically in social media, just watching videos, making pretty normal videos. Nobody's doing that, but I can imagine that people have seen people do stuff like that, and they just haven't reported it. They haven't gotten those people help, the help that they needed. And why do they follow people around in social media that are spiritual, in the spiritual community? Like for me, I kind of feel that the reason why I have that so prevalent on my channels and why it has been such a disturbance is because I feel that there are people who want to try to prove that they are more spiritual than me, and I feel like these people send these people. Okay, that could be that's what my suspicion is people sending those people, which is heartbreaking, because you're just taking advantage of those mentally ill people. And you want to give me a bunch of crap and crud, not understanding that you yourself may have a mental illness or something is wrong with you, because why do you feel the need to attack me with the and try to bombard me with all of this negativity all the time? Like, why do you feel the need to do that all the time? If you're so great, like for me, I don't have low opinions of witches and shamans and psychics. I don't have a low opinion of, I think that those people are amazing and they can do anything. But you have a hard time coming out in social media and doing your thing and just not worrying about somebody else. That's just like, Stevan, you notice how when there was a death recently, and I'm not going to bring up names, but there was a murder, and those very same people, because there was money being raised and money did get raised, those people got very upset. Those people got very upset because they feel that when someone else gains, it's taking away from them. That's a mental illness too. Why can't you gain what you want without worrying about other people's manifestations? Why? It's a very valid question for the spiritual community. Why are you worried about what somebody else is getting? Worry about what you're getting. Why can't you focus on yourself? So, for example, if somebody charges, like another witch charges $1,500 to remove a curse, and another witch charged only $300, people are like, the person that charges only $300 seems to be worried about the person that's charging $1,500. That's not your problem. That's not your business. Why are you worried about other people's stuff? Maybe they offer more. Maybe they do free recastings. Maybe maybe they feel more confident in their work. I've noticed that a lot in the spiritual community, people trying to regulate, people trying to run everybody. There's no universal person in social media that sets some kind of standards for us witches. That's a lie. Now that's a lie. And people need to quit doing that, because they're trespassing on people. They're trespassing on people's personal spaces when they're doing that. Okay. So, for example, if somebody comes out and says, hey, I make this amount of money as a spiritualist, they're going to look at that person and say, hey, you took money away from me. That's a mental illness. What are you talking about? Why don't you have any individuality? Why are you so codependent? That's codependency. You don't even know those people. There's trillions of people in this world. That would be just like another witch if she said, Jamila, I make $66,000 a year. I'm sorry, $66,000 a month doing what I'm doing. Am I going to get upset and say, well, I only make this amount, so I have a problem with you? That just, to me, it's kind of ridiculous. And how do those people get along in the world? I used to work for the government. The government, people knew when you work for the government, you walk around with a badge, and your badge states what level you're at. All you have to do is go and look it up to find out how much somebody else makes. Some of them people working for the government are making $70, $80, $100, $300 per hour. How would you ever? So people that are making 15 an hour, what are they just going to hate on the person? Oh man, I'm mad. I'm a GS5 and you're a GS50 and I'm mad at you because you make 300 a year. I'm mad. 300,000 a year. I'm mad. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. And I feel like if you're a person that wants to do more, but you're never going to do more as long as you're stuck on what somebody else is doing. You're never going to advance. Then that's when they try to say, hey, I'm making a mediocre salary. So, you know what? Because I am upset and jealous of your capability and your blessings, now all of a sudden I have the power to stop you. What? How did this even get in the spiritual community at all? I think it's ridiculous. Those people that are constantly trying to stop others, they reach their maximum potential wherever that's at, and then they stop. Why are you trying to stop other people's leveling up? And I don't like to use that term, but it's a good term. Why that's just like the older people in your family that everybody's always complaining about. The ones that have a nice little 4-bedroom home, and they're but they look at all of the younger people under them and they don't want anybody to supersede what they did. You can't get that 6-bedroom or that mansion because all I got was a 4-bedroom. Huh? Why do you care? Why does it matter to you? Why can't you just be satisfied with what you accomplished and chill out? You know what I mean? It's weird to me. It's very weird to me. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. Maybe I am one of those people to where I don't know, but it's just weird to me. What is up with these people that are always worried about, and they get very obsessive over it? They get very obsessive over it. Very. Oh, you have a larger home than me. Oh, you have this and that than me. Or you, well, I mean, did you ever stop to think that maybe if you expanded your consciousness, maybe? But I do understand that that can be hard. I've done rituals before to where the moment I wrote down the petition, gathered up the herbs, I could feel that energy shift, and it felt like that, like that shift just, oh God, it just. And a lot of times but what a lot of people don't realize is that when you feel that energy shift, it could be a spirit on you that is there to monitor and stop that ascension. But they don't think, because they're not really working with people that can actually help them, because there are so many people that are so uptight. They're tight and they're pressed about, I want to control this or control that. And I don't, and it's like, to me, that's a mental illness. To me, you're mentally ill. You're not spiritually sound. You're not mentally sound. You need help. I couldn't even imagine. I'm a teacher. I couldn't imagine trying to suppress someone else's potential, because whatever it is that I obtain at that time, and whatever it is that I obtain, that's going to be what it is. And I'm going to strive for more, but I'm not going to be worried about what somebody else necessarily has. You see what I'm saying? I'm the type of person where I don't care. I don't care about what you have. What I did is what I wanted. I got what I wanted. End of story. Case closed. Yeah. I mean, it seemed like to me that folks like that put themselves through like a self-torture chamber. Because at some point, surely those people know that people are going to figure out how to protect themselves, because that evil eye sucks. Like, there are people that have nice cars, nice houses, and they're jealous of your vision of your life, and they want to try to stop it before you even obtain it. Why? Why? Why can't you just why can't you just live and let live and be quiet? Why do you have to be worrying about what somebody else is doing? That's why I think it's important for people to have hobbies and to occupy their mind and find things that they enjoy doing. You know what I mean? And then they think, oh, somebody else there are some people that fear not being able to manifest what they want because someone else manifested it first. No. I don't understand it. And then people wonder why they go out here, especially on the free market in social media, and they're not successful in selling what they want to sell. Actually, they're not successful in business because you have to have a business. You have to have an entrepreneur's mind. An entrepreneur, somebody with that entrepreneur mindset to manifest, is not worried about what the other person is doing and is very perplexed by why other people are hating on them, especially when you hating on somebody that you say doesn't have anything. Why hate on somebody that you claim doesn't have anything? Then there is the aspect of people trying to manifest energetically off of others. And they think that that's okay because that's not a form of the craft. You know, they're in a safety zone or something. And it's like, no, if you want it, you got to manifest it yourself. You're not going to get it off of me. Because that doesn't even make any sense. It's like it. And you know what? I've been in, my business that I run and the money that I make, it is easier the more exposure that you get in social media. Absolutely, because you reach a broader audience. But I can honestly say that it's 99% manifestation and magic. Social media is just 1%. I mean, anything can happen with social media. You can get flagged. You can, lots of stuff can happen. That social media platform can get taken down. Just like TikTok got taken down for 13, 14 hours. You can get, I've seen people get thousands of views, but not get any contact by anybody. And that has a lot to do with, I believe it's the 11th house, which would be Uranus. I believe it's the 11th house that governs over how you connect with people or whether or not you connect with people. I don't get it. And it's almost like people are just making things difficult for themselves. There's like a whole wide world out here, and why people limit themselves so much is just kind of ridiculous to me. And then they're expecting you to do the same thing, or you're not accepted. Well, I like to spend my time alone anyway. I don't need to have a bunch of people around me, or a bunch of people that I talk to every single day. I don't have to have that. I don't have to have a bunch of people, especially strangers in social media, approve of me or who I am. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Exactly. I think it's ridiculous, Stevan. I really do. Thank you for your input. I think it's ridiculous, and I think that it's fear. I think that there's a lot of people who, even though they're behind a computer or a camera, they are scared shitless. They move in fear all the time. They scared. You know what I mean? They scared. I don't manifest that way. I worked with Lakshmi I still work with Lakshmi in Lord Ganesha, and she taught me a lot about manifesting without fear. Then you got people that say that they work with Lakshmi, but then they're always fearful. Wait, you work with Lakshmi, but you're always scared? Why do you feel the need to try to be a destructive force for someone else? Just come out here and share your ideas. Then there's some people, they want to do more. I've noticed that there's some people that want to do more, like they want to have a cooking channel, they want to do this, they want to do that, but they're scared to do it. They feel awkward about doing it. Maybe they feel like people are going to look at them like they're a nerd or a geek or something. If you come on here and you give people instructions on how to do something, it's called a lack of confidence. So people that lack confidence have to attack people all the time. So they attack and then they come out with what they're doing. Huh? What do I have to do with you? Do I have a picture that I shouldn't have up here? Let me make sure. You never can tell. I may have a picture of, because I was showing some photographs. I was doing some body shots. Let me make sure that I got the correct photo on each channel. Because you just never know. Oh no, I use that as the thumbnail. I mean, honestly, it really made me regret trying to connect to people. I'm gonna tell you something. If you're gonna do this, be very leery, especially if you come into the spiritual community, about who you connect with. Because I wasn't like, those people assume that just because they're trying to make connections with other people, they're doing it out of fear. I did it because I just wanted to have friends or just people to talk to and collaborate with, and to have the camaraderie is what I wanted. Those people were the personality types to where every single person they connect with, they got to throw them under the bus and all that. It's like, what is that? Like, that's so bizarre to me. And I just don't move that way. Every single person you have to throw under the bus. There has to be this cycle of trauma. Like, I don't understand that. It's almost like a Black Widow mentality. It's like they have to try to eat the energy of other people. And people have the right to protect their energy, especially in the spiritual community. Then they get mad at the spiritual community because, well, I mean, it is a spiritual community. You think that everybody doesn't know? You think that people don't know that they need to protect their energy? And so then it becomes a war on someone else's energy. What in the world? Where are they doing this at? Not within my community. It just doesn't make any sense. So no, I don't make things up as I go along. No, I'm not lying about anything. Why would I lie about that? I mean, I can't prove it to you. You know, those things were very personal. The only person that could possibly co-sign what I was saying is my significant other, and I'm not going to have him do that. Like, I'm sorry, like, because then he would be able to touch and feel what I was talking about, because it was a very intimate discussion that I was having in detail, which there are some people that love my details, and there are some people that don't like my details, and that is because they're very awkward. They're very awkward when it comes to their ability to be human. I mean, being a spiritual person, I mean, I am one person that believes that some of these people walking around here, they not 100% human. You know what I'm saying? or either they got turned into something or something. Now, I will say that I believe in that. Because it's very strange and bizarre. I believe in shapeshifters. Although shapeshifters, they can't necessarily make themselves look totally different, but you'll still be able to tell that it's the person. But they'll just look different. Almost like they can do disguises or glamour. But it is that person. It's bizarre, but I would never lie on my spirits. I would never lie about something like that. Lie for what? Just because I don't come on here and say, oh, I predicted this and that, or I predict this is going to happen. I come and I talk about real things that people may be interested in. When I speak to women, I believe that what I was speaking about, I was talking about fibroid tumors, and I was talking about how I had gotten rid of one just recently. I mean, technically, we could say that it took 90 days, at least 3 months, to actually get rid of it or to shrink it. But I was not lying about that. Maybe the reason why I was able to get rid of it is because I actually believed that I could. If you don't actually believe that that's going to work, like my castor oil, when I consecrated it to do what I wanted it to do, and all I did was applied it to my abdomen. When I did that, I believed that it was going to work. And you know what? I didn't even feel the results of it until probably like maybe a good week or two later. Okay, I'm about to jump on camera real quick and I'm kind of looking crazy. Part of the reason why this worked is because I believed that it would work. That's why it worked. If you just do something and you don't believe it's going to work, then it won't work. Then it won't work. That's just like casting a spell or doing a ritual. If you don't believe it's going to work, it ain't going to work. I have difficult clients that they are just so doubtful. You know what I have to do with those clients? I have to take away the client's free will, because some people with their free will can either work for you or against you. And when I see that those clients are difficult, I have to take away their free will. Okay. I'm looking crazy as hell. Not that bad, but you know. I have to actually take away those clients' free will, because they will end up sabotaging the work, because their will to not believe that it's going to work is so strong that it'll block it. And then also, when it comes to some of the things that you guys want, like I said, depending on your beliefs that you were raised with, will stop those things. It'll stop it from happening. Or either you'll feel that shift happen within yourself and you'll be afraid of it, which you can't do that. You can't be afraid of it. It's something that it's a phenomenon. It's called a reality shift. Sorry, y'all. It's called a reality shift. It's called a shift in reality that a lot of people, they will be resistant to that shift and it won't work. And some people will be very resistant. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking crazy as hell. Okay. They will be very resistant to it working. And those are some of my difficult clients. In particular with my healing clients. That's why I don't do very many healings. I don't do very many healings for people, because when you do healings for people like that, that's a very special process that requires a strong belief in being able to heal. And if people don't believe in healers, people used to believe in healers. They don't believe in them anymore. Okay. People don't even believe in their ability to heal themselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's just bizarre to me. It really is. It's bizarre to me. And you tend to self-sabotage yourself. And I've seen people that have practiced witchcraft, and they wanted to practice witchcraft because they just wanted vengeance on someone for some reason, and they wanted that person to be hurt. They wanted that person to be messed up, and because they never was able to do it, now they don't believe in now they don't believe in it. It's like, oh well, that doesn't work. I don't believe in it. And it's just bizarre. You know what I'm saying? It's but witchcraft should be utilized differently, but people have a tendency to look at witchcraft as this awful thing, as this evil thing, instead of seeing the true potential of the craft. They have a very limited view of the way that they see the craft, which is a huge mistake, because and I think it's because witchcraft is connected to the divine feminine totally. And there are so many people that for some reason they want to devalue the divine feminine. They want to devalue feminine energy. And that's a mistake. As a divine feminine, I understand the importance of balance, which would be masculinity, masculine energy. Why would I deny that power for what? It would make no sense. However, I mean, if you look at if you ever follow Dr. Delbert Blair's workings, you'll know that he had a belief, and there's a lot of other people that believe that. And then it's also present in the story of the mother of Jesus, that she conceived a child by herself. So when it comes to women, there's a power of creation that is within women. So it's really bizarre what we're seeing, in the spiritual community. It's very bizarre, the things that we're seeing lately. Like the past decade has just been, I'm gonna be honest with you. There are like tons of people that I watch that I am so enamored by their videos. Like I just really love their content, okay, because it more so speaks to me. But then again, there are some people that are supposed to be very spiritual that I have been extremely disappointed in. Just like, oh my God. That's just like right now, I'm looking crazy as heck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I feel like I look crazy, but I'll be looking younger by the morning because I am gonna do a beauty. I'm gonna do something for this beauty because I kind of feel like I'm looking a little shabby today. Okay, right now it might be because I'm sleepy though. I've been up all day. Well, I woke up at probably like maybe what time I wake up. Yeah, I'm kind of looking kind of plain, pale. I kind of look pale, like for some reason. But I've been doing spiritual work all day, so that can happen, and it's okay for me to come on here and, not look like a movie star. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not a movie star. I'm a, you know what I'm saying? But it really is like really bizarre, guys. What is bizarre to me is the information that people will accept when it comes to spirituality. That's what's bizarre to me, is the information that people will accept. I don't accept all spiritual information or energy because you know what? I'm sorry, a person's energy is their information. They could be saying, people can be saying something, and I'm not reading what they're saying. I'm not even listening to what they're saying. I'm just reading their energy. And if they energy ain't right, I got to take flight. Okay. Like, yeah, no. Mm-mm. I look at what your energy is more than anything, and your energy speaks to me more than anything. You can be saying something, and I'll just like, yeah, no, what, I can sense the energy and the intention behind people's words, even when they're saying something totally different. It hasn't always worked for me because I've been fooled. And I tend to like to walk around with a deep level of understanding for everything. I don't like to not understand nothing. I don't like to get all googly and oh, I don't understand. See, that's what causes you to freak out when you're dealing with other people. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not that type of person that's gonna do that. I've learned to not do that. I've learned to actually sit down and think and assess things, research, meditate on it, speak to my guides about it, get their opinion. I don't just make up my mind and freak out and make an assumption about anything. I don't ever do that. I don't ever do that. I'm not gonna do it because I just don't think that that's working for people. From what I can see, it's just not working for people. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So, but all in all, what I want to say, and I say this to people all the time. I say this to people all the time. There are certain things that you are doing, your method of doing that you're doing, that mirrors some kind of mental illness. Why are my bangs sticking up? I've been kind of chilling and relaxing. I don't agree with that. I think that if you have maybe I need to wipe off my camera lens. Let me see. Oops. I believe that that made it worse. Okay. Let me see here. I don't know why this thing is looking fuzzy to me. Sorry, y'all. I smoke cigarettes, so my lips are kind of, black. It's all good though. Yeah, man, it's really bizarre. Like it's and I think that there are a lot of people who they take. No, I believe your mental illness is separate from the spiritual experience. And I believe that you are limiting your spiritual self based upon that. And some people need to be, because some of these people think that witchcraft is for, just cursing and hexing people and attacking people. And I don't agree with that. I guess it depends on, oh God, I need to do my hair. I think it depends on the person. But I think that people should understand that, especially if you're so paranoid to the point where people can't even talk to you without you doubting everything that they say. And I don't never lie about nothing. I'm the type of person where I am brutally honest. My significant other is the same way. He is the same exact way. That's one thing that I love about him. He will just say what is on his mind. And I love that because I don't like, I don't like deception. You know what I'm saying? And none of us do. But for you to just constantly that's that's a problem. Somebody could be sitting there telling you the truth and you're always thinking that they're lying. And I'm not saying just go out there and believe in everything that they say, but I mean, I'm sorry. There have been way too many times. First of all, I don't lie about I am somebody that is always an open book. If I do, because I was put in a position socially on YouTube to where it was kind of like you just kind of make up jokes about people. I'm gonna let people know, hey, I was not being honest about that. I was just joking when I said that. If I'm speaking seriously about something, I'm telling the truth. Mm-hmm. You're right. And Stevan, I've noticed that those very same people are still hanging around the spiritual community. And it seems like every single day they're having some kind of mental distress and they're trying to cause that to other people. You should not be in social media. You need to be at a doctor's office. You need to be at a pharmacy. You do not need to be in social media. Okay. Years ago when I accidentally bit into that stink bug, remember that? Oh my God. I don't know if you was around for that, Stevan. I accidentally bit into that stink bug. I didn't just keep coming to social media talking about, oh my God, this and that, blah, 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 and going crazy and da 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 da. I went to go see a therapist. I did. I went and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, it's typically the same every single day. And you can't, like, do I believe that you can go and make a career out of it? No, you can't, because you're impeding on other people and you're creating enemies all the time. That's all you're doing, is just creating an enemy every single time, because and really in reality what you need is some help. Why be in social media when you're not even socially equipped to be here? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And then especially in the spiritual community where it's a lot of witches, a lot of, like including myself, if I feel like I need to be in defensive mode with you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And there are some people that are mentally ill enough to be out here just randomly attacking people. And you're in a spiritual community with a bunch of witches, and we don't have to discern. We don't have to go, oh, that person's mentally ill, I'm not. No, we don't. Especially when you're doing certain things and you're bugging us and harassing us. We don't have to be nice to you. And being an empath does, hey, listen, let me say this to your face. Being an empath does not equal being a doormat. My lips get so dry in the winter. Being an empath does not equal being a pushover or being some doormat. That's not what that means when somebody says that they're an empath, that you can just mistreat them. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And it's an oxymoron for these people to be in social media and they have social disorders and social anxieties. I feel like it's a classic case of social anxiety. Can't nobody say nothing to you without you being triggered. What was triggering about that situation, and why do you care? Why do you care about other people's body to that extent? Like it helped somebody else. That discussion that I had helped a lot of people because it helped inspire them, didn't it? You were not inspired by it at all. You weren't, because you're just here to cause trouble. You're just here to be a troublesome person. So I'm supposed to not tell my story. I'm supposed to not say anything because of you. So I've got to change my entire stilo because of you. How could you come to how could you come to social media and expect and then people will say, that they'll be demanding respect too. It's like, You don't even know how to leave people the heck alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the purpose in doing that? And then getting upset. I don't like what she's talking about, so I'm going to flag her channel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Why? Just leave people alone. Unsub from people's channel. Why would you do that? Every excuse in the book has been made when in reality, you know, you have, you should be training yourself to just leave people alone. And then a lot of them want to come to social media and pretend to be your mother, your father, have authority over you, and I think that's really crazy. People that want to come to social media and they make it, you know, because there's some people that they just have that commanding nature in social media where people just kind of agree with them and they follow them and they, you know, they agree with what they're saying. But then these people are just like, you know, just over the top. You know, I want to run and control these people when in reality, you don't even have no control over yourself. You lack self control. And why would you expect to come to social media and control the lives of grown people who are on their journey? And they've got to do what you need for them to do in order for you to get along. And like, otherwise, you're going to have a bad day. That just, to me, that just, that just, it grinds my gears. It's like, and then they'll try to flip it and say that it's spiritual. No, you have borderline personality disorder because you can't even respect other people's boundaries. And that's not what being a witch is about. That's not that's not what it's about. That ain't it. That ain't it. You know, I could see a high priestess or a mother witch pulling rank for her loved ones so that the best outcome possible could be for them. I could see that. I've been faced with that before. But for you to be totally unreasonable, and then there's some people out here that just because they want to throw people off their spiritual path. Why do you think that that's okay? So, you know, I could see somebody giving bad spiritual information. Uh, I feel like spirit will lead you to that to make you think. Okay. That's why it's important to question everything. But I also think that there are some people like you're too involved. You're just way too involved. And then you'll say, oh, well, that's because you talked about so and so. Well, there's people on here talking about their cancer diagnoses. There are people on here making videos from the hospital just after surgery. So that's what social media is for. They'll say, oh, well, you put it out there. It's like, yeah, but just because somebody put their information out there didn't give you a license to be negative and send them negativity. You see what I'm saying? So it's just very bizarre how these people are operating. And it's totally abnormal. It's very disturbing to the human spirit. You know, So, people need to think about that. They do. They need to think about that before they step into any kind of spiritual situation, is what I think. And I'm not trying to tell nobody what to do. I'm not trying to do that, because I feel like at the end of the day, people should trust their own judgment. But I think that when you running around here paranoid and you're delusional, and this discussion, we're going to discuss it a little bit more because Spirit really wants me to talk about this. So I'm going to set up the show for a little bit later on. I'm going to set up a conversation about this new moon that we have in Pisces that is coming up. Okay, according to my app, we have a new moon coming up in Pisces. And I can tell you that what the energy shift is going to be, a lot of these people that do have spiritual gifts, whether or not they have a mental illness with that, there's going to be a universal shift of hysterical blindness for some people. And I'm going to tell you what it's going to be about. Let me just make sure, though. Because what it's going to be, yep, it's in Pisces. Wait a minute, let me see. Yep, it'll be in Pisces. 44 degrees in Pisces is what it says. Basically, there's going to be a lot of our remote viewers that are not going to be able to remote view people that they shouldn't be watching. That's going to be a trip. That's going to be hell for those people. And it's already started now. It's already started. What I mean is that those people that have psychic gifts, and there's certain people that they're watching all the time, Spirit is giving people the wisdom. Watch sales on Tiger's Eye specifically go up. Tiger's Eye, Black Obsidian, and Black Tourmaline is going to go up. It's going to skyrocket because Spirit is going to have a whole bunch of people buying these things, because Spirit is bringing back people's privacy, because there's been a lot of people with spiritual gifts that somewhere along the line that turned into a mental illness, to where you felt like you had to watch somebody when you because it's certain things that they're going to have to pay attention to anyway. So it's going to be for the greater good of all. But it's going to like what's going to be in the air is paranoia. Just FYI, and it's not, I'm telling you, it's not going to be good, because a lot of those people that are used to astral traveling, people that are used to doing certain things, people that are used to watching people with their spiritual gifts to make themselves feel better, you're going to be completely blacked out. Okay. And I'm telling y'all what I know. Watch Tiger's Eye sales go up drastically. Okay. Now, what is Tiger's Eye? What is that? Okay. What is the magical properties of Tiger's Eye? The way that I take Tiger's Eye, just to put it in layman's terms, is that as a witch, the way I see Tiger's Eye is I feel like it is defense for and against the evil eye. Okay, so Tiger's Eye, if you look it up on Google, it is a gemstone that is said to have magical properties that balance the mind and body, protect against evil, and increase confidence. Okay, so it's meant to, it goes on to say Tiger's Eye is believed to protect against evil spirits, malevolent forces, and the evil eye. Okay. So somebody watching you, monitoring you because they're obsessed with you malignantly, that would be considered a malevolent force. A lot of those people that are doing that are not going to be able to do that. That's the energy is shifting. Spirit is pulling rank on that. Okay, just FYI. They will not be able to do it. And it's going to freak them out. It's going to freak a lot of them out. Why is it going to be a wicked new moon for a lot of us that are tapped in? Is because we're going to be able to sense that, and there's a lot of people that are not going to be. The energies are going to be kind of off. And the reason why, whether or not you knew those people were watching you or not, the energy is going to shift because all of a sudden those people are not going to be able to watch you, which is going to create this feeling within people to where it's going to be confusion. They're going to be like, why? Now, as far as like people that are keeping an eye on their loved ones, that's different. But people that are watching and monitoring people, because that whole thing is being regulated, that's gonna cease to exist. Especially if you have made up lies, okay, and you're an actual real psychic, but you saw things that you wanted to see, or either you lied about seeing them. So a lot of that is going to go bye-bye. So the people that are being watched, a lot of you guys that are being watched and monitored, you're not going to be watched and monitored anymore. If you're not aware of that, or if you're not trained to deal with those energy shifts, all of a sudden you're going to feel this sense of peace and calm, and it's going to be an automatic shift that's going to happen. And those of you that have been used to having that your whole life, because the people that are doing all the watching, they had it happen to them. Probably their mama had it happen to them. They grandmama had it happen to them. So if that's something that you're used to, it's gonna feel weird not having that. So tiger's eye would be good to have, as well as quartz crystal, so that you can adjust to that. I'm telling you, because it's going to be very weird. Okay, every time I touch my tiger's eyes, kind of like those energies that are there, because they really don't need to be there. It's difficult when you have a whole bunch of negativity and evil that exists in your mind, in your spirit, and then all of a sudden it's not there anymore. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? And I can already feel it. And we're not even halfway through this cycle. Hold on, let me see where the moon is at. She's at 79%. And I feel like that process has already started. Because what a lot of people are doing is they're watching and they're manipulating. Way too much. So you have to be careful. I would say that the best thing for you guys to do, being that a lot of us have been in that consciousness, is going to be difficult. Having malevolent people just watching us. I would say do some meditation, maybe some third eye meditation will help. You know what I'm saying? Because that just hasn't been normal. When you think about 300 years ago or 500 years ago when witches existed, did we have social media? No, no. So social media totally changed the dynamic and it drove a bunch of people insane. There's no way that as a witch or either a psychic or a shaman or a healer or an empath that you should have been bombarded with all of that energy. So it's going to take a whole lot of patience, grounding, I'd say anointing and things of that nature. You know, maybe I would say ashwagandha root would be good. Marshmallow root would be good for that transition and that change, and it'll be positive. It's a positive change, of course, but it's still going to take some adjusting. Some of us are going through it in advance, but a lot of y'all is going to get you're going to be slammed with it on the new moon. uh, it's going to be weird. It's going to be like, what is going on? Don't be paranoid about it. Just know that it's very, especially a lot of these people that are doing like this astral travel to where they're astral traveling to you and things of that nature. And see, I can see astral travel. I didn't like it. Oh, wild lettuce leaf would be good too, if you can take it. Some people can't really, some people can't really deal with wild lettuce leaf. I love it. I love wild lettuce leaf. I love to burn it. So there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are going to be going through that, and you're just going to have to get adjusted. And if you guys have a hard time adjusting, there's some people that are starting to deal with that right now. I'm always here. My door is open for assistance because that's exactly what's happening. But it's a change that's going to be good because a lot of these people have been watching and monitoring, and you know they've been doing a bunch of unnecessary stuff. That's just like speeding and darting in and out of traffic. You know, those types of people were almost like those people that speed and dart in and out of traffic, and they still catch a red light. They still get caught up with that red light, and it doesn't matter that they sped all up and was all hastily trying to get to the ahead of everybody, or and but they still ended up at a red light, and then they caught road rage. That's exactly how spirit is describing it to me right now. So I would say get your ashwagandha root, get your marshmallow root. I love marshmallow root. It's one of my favorite herbs. Is that marshmallow root as well as brown lettuce. I love those. Okay. But otherwise it's going to be an extremely powerful. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this new moon that's coming up in Pisces. I always get excited about that because number one, I so enjoy Poseidon, who is the god and who is one of the gods of Neptune. I really, really, really just love that particular deity. He's so powerful. He reminds me of either, you know, have any of you guys ever? Because I mean, even though we had our issues, we definitely had our issues. I had two children by a Cancer man. Uh, he was a Cancer zodiac sign, and he was just so like when he was good, he was really good. And it was only like a few times where we had bad times, but those bad times were pretty bad. But anyway, in fact, he's probably not a good example, but he was it wasn't all bad. I'm not going to say that. You know, I'm not one of those type of people. I have to be honest. You know, he was just very supportive and soothing. You know, like because I had two children with him back to back. You know, he would make sure the house was clean. He would make sure that I had food. You know, that he would cook. You know, he would. You know what I'm saying? And so Poseidon being of that water element, you know, it's just very soothing. You know, and I've actually dated a Pisces that's like that. And then my significant other is a Cancer. The one that I like his energy, just like he can't help it. Like when I'm around him, I just, for some reason, I just feel extremely safe. I don't know what it is. It's very bizarre how I just feel really safe when I'm around. And he has like a very soothing, calming energy. He's a Cancer, so you know. And you know, as a Cancer woman, I've been told that my energy is very soothing. So, but if I'm doing the crabby crab thing, if my crab side is being brought out, I can be very crabby. That's the one thing about cancers, or you know, when we good, but when you know, just don't mess with us like that. And I'm a June Cancer, so. Mhm. So anyway, y'all, I don't know. Like, I hope that y'all enjoyed this discussion. I just honestly, I can't deal. I don't like to deal with people that are like. I mean, if you have been diagnosed with a legitimate mental illness, stop thinking that it's making your spiritual gift stronger. I want to say that's not making things better for you. Being a drag on the community is not. That's not. You know, you're like a. I don't know if y'all ever saw that show. It came on Showtime. It was either Showtime or HBO called The Baby. Being a actual literal drain on the spiritual community, that's not doing anything good. Like if you're gonna do it the spiritual way, actually do it the spiritual way. If you're gonna heal or cure yourself mentally, spiritually, then do it. Then do it. Buckle down, do research, start looking at the human brain, start doing research on certain herbs, start looking at the planets, start studying the chakras, and not just studying, but actually connecting with the actual chakras because some of them do more, and then also you know, learning how to balance the chakras, learning what you need to do on a daily basis. That's just like today is Monday. Um, when I get off of here, I'm gonna do a chakra. I know, in fact, I know I will. I'm gonna do a chakra balancing and healing and grounding for me and my entire family and my loved ones and my lover because he's always included. Okay, even though he says he doesn't believe in it, I know for a fact that it makes a difference for him. So that's why I always include him. Okay. And there's certain energies on certain days to where if you need a balancing or grounding or healing, then there's certain energies. There's a way that you do it. Find out, you know, everybody has their own way of doing things. I have my way of doing things, and then other people have their, ask spirit for guidance on that then. Okay. Another thing that I noticed, however, though, is that people that suffer from those really bad God complexes, and the reason why we call it a complex is because you think that you're supposed to be God to everybody. No, you're not God, hun, to me, or to just everybody in the world. That's for social media purposes so that you can, I guess, grow your audience. But in reality, you can be God of you, but to just come out here with a God complex thinking that you're supposed to run everybody in the whole world and run everybody around, and that's going to be dealt with. That's already being dealt with. Okay. I'm just telling y'all because even though there's a lot of people that are not talking about it, people are tired of it, especially people that are kind of religious. They're doing too much. They're way too negative. It's, and what do you expect to get when you're being negative to another person? You're gonna that person's they they have the right to not be positive. We don't necessarily have to be love and light. Especially when it's something that you're doing all the time, and it's become intolerable. It's become to the point where people are losing their patience with you, and they don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Stefan. Yeah, and and if somebody says, "Hey, I don't want anything to do with this," respect that. You can't just force people. I've seen people, So a lot of those delusions are going to be dealt with this new moon. And what else can we do to sit back and watch? That's exactly what we're gonna do, Stefan. We're gonna sit back and we're gonna watch. I think I'm gonna pull my hair, I'm not my focus. It's looking crazy. I'm thinking about pressing this with my blow dryer, just this part, so that my bangs will actually look like bangs, not all drawn up and like flying away and stuff. Even though they will definitely curl back up. Black girl problems. Okay. See how it stretches down? So anyway, yeah, but we'll talk more about this new moon coming up in Neptune. I'm already prepared for it. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna be quite some big events that day. I can tell you that there's gonna be calamities because of it. I will tell y'all that much. There will be calamities. And I'm not sure why I'm feeling that. Like I just have a strong feeling. I know what I'm talking about. It is going to be some craziness because of that. Um, and I think it's specifically that dark moon in Pisces, okay, or in Neptune. So, all right, guys, I will see y'all later. Make sure that y'all hit that thumbs up, no matter what channel y'all watching me on. I hope y'all enjoyed this discussion. And I promise I will be back to talk about this new moon coming up in Pisces more. Okay. All right, y'all. Blessings. Bye. Bye bye.